Dear Jack, are you all right? I haven't heard from you for over 4 weeks, and of course I'm concerned. If you can, just let me know you're okay.
I come in. Dear Louise, I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you. The casualties were non-stop, and once again I was taken out to a ship. But I'm back in place now and back to normal, whatever that is.
Any news on your front? Good news, of course, or anything at all, for that matter, as I think you know. I love hearing from you. All affection, Louise.
Dear Louise, I'd love to send you some good news for a change, but in fact I have something difficult to relate. I just received my orders to go overseas. I can't say that I didn't see it coming, but it is still a shock. I just wrote and told my mother and dad, and that was the worst part of the whole thing. You know them now, and you know that they won't take it very well. For what it's worth, some of the other doctors have received similar orders, and a number of us are going over together. We'll be responsible for establishing an evacuation hospital near the line of battle. You would think that they would send us to the Pacific since we're already here on the West Coast, but the Army, in its wisdom, is sending us in the other direction. There's been talk in the papers lately about opening up a second front in Europe, either in France or in Belgium, and I have a feeling we're going to be a part of it. However, there is kind of a silver lining. They're giving each of us a 5-day leave before we ship out. I'll be going to Coatesville, of course, to see Mom and Dad, but then I'd like to come to New York and see you. The day will be Saturday, October 10th. What do you think? Are you still game?
I still game. Yes, Jack, I'm still game. Well, that was slick. Clearly, the Army is having a bad influence on you.
So what about showbiz? Any auditions coming up?
Yes, a matter of fact, a big one.
In comes, actually,
The audition is in 2 days, and I wish you were here. I need a cheering section. Love, Louise.
Love.
Beep, 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 beep.
Western Union telegram dated August 15, 1943.
Western Union telegram dated August 16, 1943. Thank you for the suggestion. Stop using both of them. Stop. Appreciate your faith in me, so please don't stop, stop, stop. Love, Louise.
Dear Louise, how did it go? Hello, are you there? Hey, I'm the one who's supposed to be hard to reach. What happened?
Dear Jack, I got the part. I'm in a Broadway musical.
Skip down.
Thank you, God.
Congratulations. I told everybody at my table last night at dinner, and we drank a toast to your Broadway debut.
Thank you so much. I don't know how I suddenly got so lucky.
Skip down, skip down.
What should I do? I can try to break the contract, or is there any way you can get to Cincinnati on October 10th? I'm crushed. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Love, Louise.
Dear Louise, don't be silly. Of course you shouldn't break the contract. It's nice of you to offer, but it's out of the question. This is your dream come true, and you certainly can't spoil it for one lousy date. Or perhaps one very excellent date. Who knows what would have happened? But this really is the chance of a lifetime, and you should enjoy every second of it. I don't know if you've noticed from our letters, but I'm not much of a reader or an intellectual. Beginning in high school, for a lot of reasons, I felt I should become a doctor, and I focused on the sciences. Having said that, I read a book about 5 years ago that really stuck with me. It's called My Early Life by Winston Churchill. I should backtrack a minute and say that Churchill is my greatest hero aside from my parents. One of the things that has impressed me most about him is his personal courage. In the Boer War, he rode his horse into battle fearlessly, without complaint and with a sense of duty. He was just like these boys I take care of these days. They're aware of the danger, but they know what they have to do and why they're doing it, and just keep going. Recently, however, I learned something new. 2 months ago, Churchill flew to Malta to meet with his officers and ground troops, and the trip took over 20 hours in a B-24 that was filled with cargo. He was accompanied by his physician, Lord Moran, and they ended up dodging enemy planes and flying through terrible weather that made the wings shake and lose some fittings. It was 20 degrees inside the hull, and they had to sit on wooden benches. Meanwhile, the noise of the engines was so intense that they couldn't hear each other, even when shouting. And here's the thing. This was the Prime Minister of England, who didn't have to leave his office for a single instant if he didn't want to, and no one would have thought one whit less of him. He did it out of a sense of duty to support the kids who are out there dying for their country, and I find this level of personal courage phenomenal. Anyway, the reason I bring The reason I mentioned Churchill is because of what you're going through and why you must do this tour and live the life you've always dreamed about. It reminds me of a passage in the Churchill book. He says, "I passed out of Sandhurst into the world. It opened like Aladdin's cave. When I look back upon the years when I was 20 to 25 years old, all the days were good, and each day better than the other. Ups and downs, risks and journeys, but always the sense of motion and the illusion of hope. Come now, all you young men and women all over the world, you have not an hour to lose. You will of course make mistakes, but if you are, as long as you are generous and true, and also fierce, you cannot hurt the world. She was made to be wooed and won by youth." Forgive me for being so bombastic, it's not like me. One of the reasons I love Churchill so much is that I've always been shy by nature, I guess you can tell, and I wish I had Churchill's courage and thrust. But now I know that now is the time for you to thrust ahead on all that talent, and we'll figure out the rest of it, I promise. Love, Jack.
I'm leaving the show and flying to Medford.
No, you're not.
Why not?
I told you why not. How are rehearsals?
Rehearsals are wonderful, if you must know. Everybody's so talented that I feel like a fool. Did you ever look into flying to Cincinnati?
I did look into it, and it's impossible. What's your itinerary after that, in case my departure gets delayed for some reason?
From Cincinnati, we do 1 week each in Cleveland, Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta, Des Moines, Orlando, Miami, Columbus, Chicago, Roanoke, and Philadelphia. Oops, wait a second. At the end, we also hit Springfield, Huntsville, and Richmond because we do some split weeks. But it doesn't really matter because by the end, I'll probably be on crutches. When do you leave for Medford? When do you leave Medford?
We leave tomorrow. We're being sent to Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, where apparently they will prepare us for conditions in Europe. That should be interesting. Switch sides of the stage.
October 2nd, 1943. Dear Jack, we arrived in Cincinnati yesterday. We moved into the theater this morning. The sets are lavish, the costumes are glamorous, and I'm so terrified I can hardly walk. Did you get to Fort Sam Houston yet?
Yes, I'm here, and it's quite a change from the base at Medford. The doctors live in barracks and tents, and I drew the short straw, and I'm in a tent. Actually, it's not so terrible. It's about 8 feet square, and it doesn't hold much but my locker and a cot. But do you want to hear something funny? I kind of like the simplicity of it. What I don't like is all the drilling. Yesterday we did a 10-mile hike with full packs, and then we had to run an obstacle course under barbed wire. To top it all off, at the end of the day, we learned how to take a bath in our helmet liners. Yes, that's what I said. And now I think I just spoiled any sense of romance you ever had about me.
Your helmet liner?
Don't ask.
Right.
How did the opening go? I can't wait to hear.
The opening? Oh, that little thing.
Keep going, keep going.
They kept on cheering, and I burst into tears.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Oh, shut up.
Are there any pictures of you in the show that you can send me? I'd love to see you in costume to sort of hold me over until I can see the real thing. On the other hand, seeing you in costume might remind me of all those adoring men who must come to your dressing room night after night, bringing you flowers. Does that really happen?
Now and again, but I can assure you we're so tired by the end of the show it doesn't make the least bit of difference. Jack?
Sorry. I couldn't write. This time it was a 2-week training exercise in the middle of nowhere, teaching us about chemical warfare and how to move an entire hospital while under fire. Oh, so much suffering. Can't we just end this miserable war already? Sorry, it's all so horrible. And here's the thing. I got my marching orders this morning, and I leave for Europe at the end of the week. The only news is that I'll get to see my parents, since we head out through the port of New York. Please address all future letters to the 121st Station Hospital, U.S. Army, Europe.
Happy Halloween from Nashville, Tennessee. Somehow the witches and goblins around here aren't so very scary with their southern accents.
Happy Thanksgiving from a village in England where they don't eat turkey. I never heard of Thanksgiving. Skip down.
Where are you living? Do you live in the barracks?
Not at the moment. A lot of us are living in English villages with families that have a spare room to offer. The families are all so grateful that the Americans entered the war that they'd give us the shirts off their backs if we needed them. I can't tell you where I am, of course, but the countryside is gorgeous, with hedgerows that make the landscape into a sort of quilt-like pattern. But the German air raids happen every few days, and there are parts of our village that are nothing but rubble. Listen, I have a favor to ask. My best friend At the base in Medford was a doctor named Greg Baird. He's an absolutely terrific guy. He did his residency in pediatrics. Then, like me, he was drafted and ended up in the Army. Who knows why, but he wasn't sent abroad. He's still in Medford. But now he has a week's leave and he's going to be in Kansas City the same week your tour is there. He's single, and I wonder if any of your friends in the show would like to go out with him. He's also very good looking, so don't even think about going out with him yourself.
As if I had time for a socialite.
Skip down.
He'll be the happiest pediatrician in the state of Kansas.
Then I read Greg's letter. I finish Greg's letter. All best, Greg. Dear Greg, thanks a lot. I wasn't upset enough about being 3,000 miles away from home. Now I won't sleep at night.
Now that should be interesting.
Dear Louise, do not believe anything that Greg tells you. He'll make up stories because he thinks they're funny, and you never know when he's telling the truth. And why on earth is he taking you to dinner? I thought you set him up with Patsy.
Hey, can't a girl have a decent dinner now and then? I need my strength.
Oh, great.
Dear Jack, well, I had dinner with... Greg took me to dinner last night. It was very interesting.
Skip down.
It must be nice to have company from back home.
Yes, Jenny did come over with us. She's a lovely young woman who was born and raised near Coatesville, believe it or not. We used to kid that we were neighbors and that we must have gone to the same football games.
Dear Jack, I had dinner with Greg again.
Skip down.
Is any of this true?
Yes, it is. Jenny and I did get close. Then we split up. That's all I want to say about it.
Jack, how could you spoil everything?
I was lonely. All of us are lonely every day of this never-ending war.
Why did you split up?
Because I told her about you. I told her how I waited for your letters every day and that all I thought about was meeting you. Listen, I know what this whole thing we're doing is ridiculous. Obviously, we like each other, and I feel as though I've known you forever. But we've never even met each other. What if we meet and you're not attracted to me? What if I'm not as great as all those actors and stars you spend your life with? What if we meet and you take one good look at me and say, wow, he's really nice. He could be my brother. Or what if you don't even like me at all? What if we don't get along? We don't know anything. Nobody knows how any of this is going to turn out. So that's what I was thinking when I got involved with Ginny. I'm sorry to have hurt your feelings. I know I did, and I'm sorry. But it's wartime, and I'm scared to death. I shouldn't say it. It's not very manly or brave, but it's how I feel, and I'm sorry. I'm sure you don't want to write anymore, and I understand. I hope we do get to meet someday. I bet we'd have been pretty good friends. Good luck with the tour and with everything else. You deserve it. Jack. We cross back to our side of the stage, original side of the stage.
June 12, 1944. Jack, what's the matter with you? Can't you ever write to a girl and say hello?
Do you even want me to say hello?
Yes, funnily enough, I do, though I don't think funnily is actually a word.
It's not. I looked it up once.
Where are you now, to the extent that the Army lets you say anything about your location?
I'm in France, but I can't tell you where in France.
Well, isn't that a surprise? What are you doing in France?
Well, there was this little thing called D-Day where we tried to establish a second front in Europe by landing 1 million men under German fire. I was in it, though a little towards the back end, as were most of the doctors, which means we landed on the 3rd day instead of the 1st.
Oh, dear God.
The goal by mid-August is to have 2 million men over here, along with 40,000 aircraft and 120,000 tanks. They say it will be the largest fighting force in history, but I wonder if the buildup on the Eastern Front doesn't beat it already.
You would know. That's your department.
My department is amputation and skin grafts.
Over here they say that D-Day was a great success.
On the 1st day, we lost 6,000 men. In all, 73,000 men were killed or reported missing in action. Another 150,000 were wounded. The other docs and I do about 16 hours a day, and we still can't keep up, but we do manage to save a lot of these kids thanks to penicillin and the new sulfa drugs.
I know this sounds completely stupid, but is there anything I can do to help?
I wish you could.
Okay, here's my idea.
Keep going, keep going.
By the way, your mother sent you an apple cake and she's crushed you. You never thanked her for it.
It was covered with mold, and I didn't want to tell her and hurt her feelings.
You idiot, just tell her it arrived in perfect condition, that you loved it. It'll make her feel like she's doing something.
Good point. Tell her I'm sorry. Have you been dating?
No. Have you?
No.
Hey, guess what? Now that the tour's over, I have a new job.
Skip down.
Did you get to Paris? I heard that somebody liberated it.
Yeah, that was us.
I want to go to Paris someday. Will you take me? Jack?
We're in the villages now, and the people line the streets and cheer for us.
Yay!
Not all, but most. They say they were treated like dogs by the Germans, in some cases made to clean their latrines, in other cases lined up and shot. At first I wondered how much of it was true, but I treat German prisoners of war all the time, and they confirm every word of it. They say they were forced into it by their superior officers. That, of course, is the universal excuse for atrocities. They were forced into it. But none of them seem very cut up about it. They also admit to rounding up the Jews in the villages, including the children, and sending them to the concentration camps. It's just...
Hey, have you heard the news? There's talk in the paper about the war being over soon. Have you heard anything?
That was the talk a few weeks ago, but the Germans have launched a new offensive to retake Belgium and the Netherlands. They say that this time it really is the biggest land battle in history, and we just got orders to head that way to deal with the wounded. Last night, our truck got lost in the dark, and we suddenly found ourselves under fire. But as black as it was, the driver managed to stay on the road and get us out of there. We all bought him drinks last night in the mess.
You're under fire?
Yes, of course, but we have a red cross on the side of our truck that's meant to protect us.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Jack? Jack, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. We're getting thousands of patients from the battle up north, and there's just no time left for any of us.
Don't say you're sorry. It's my fault. I know you're there, and I shouldn't ask. I know that letters from Europe are getting delayed a lot these days, but I get impatient. I'm the patient type. You probably never noticed that.
Never. You amaze me. So tell me about the Stage Door Canteen. Do any big stars ever stop by, ones I'd recognize?
Well, last week we had Lana Turner and Paulette Goddard.
Hey, I know them.
No kidding. Jack, are you being careful?
Tremendously. Though I'm not sure that the Red Cross emblem is all it's cracked up to be. Yesterday, one of the hospitals was shelled so badly that some of the doctors had to carry the patients through an open field to get away. Back him up. Listen, I know I shouldn't be telling you any of this, and it's not to frighten you. You know that. I tell you because if something happens to me, I want to know that I've told somebody that there are thousands and thousands of us over here trying to prevent harm, not inflict it. Does that make any sense at all? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just tired, and I don't want to sound maudlin. I'm sure you've had enough on your plate. But do me a favor. I know this sounds really, really stupid. Hey, isn't that what you said to me once about something? I know this sounds really, really stupid. But if anything happens to me, please go to my parents and tell them that I think about them all the time, and of you.
I think about you Jack, too, all the time. But if you think for a minute you can get out dancing with me from some lame excuse about serving the U.S. Army, you got another thing coming. So get the heck back here. You got it?
Got it.
You know what else? I've made a decision. I'm going to write to you twice a day just to bore the pants off you, and I won't even expect to hear anything in return. Do we have a deal?
More sounds. Skip down. Skipping down. A letter from Greg Baird. Then my letter arrives to Louise.
Anyway, I sure hope you get this now that I'm back home. I just spoke with my parents. I called them when I hit New York.
And they were so relieved. They received a notice from the Army that I was missing in action, and they thought the worst. Well, I was missing. Half our platoon was lost somewhere behind enemy lines. Anyway, I'm in New York right now, but I lost your telephone number and I don't know how to get in touch with you except by letter. I hear there's going to be a big celebration in Times Square for VE Day, and I was hoping maybe we could meet there. What do you think? Somebody told me there's a fountain at the end of some building that comes to a point in a sort of triangle, and I'm going to find it, and I'll be there all day hoping to see you. Celebrations in Times Square, yay! I suppose the question is whether we'll recognize each other. I've got your picture, of course. I've got it right here with me. Jack Louise. Jack Louise. And I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that my heart embraces all you through.